Today I'm going to cover the Pisces new moon on February 27th and touch on Venus retrograding March 1st through April 12th. Really and truly, there's certainly a lot in common between these two energies. So let's put on our thinking hats, open our hearts. Who are we now? And what's going to be really important? What are our values? Because new moons are new beginnings. And Venus retrograde is reevaluating our values, what's really important with the information we've collected to this point. So dream big. Hi there. I'm Catherine Bachman, professional astrologer of 40 years and psychotherapist of 30 years. And I combine all of my education to be of service and to help. It's been a goal of mine to understand how do we heal from birth through the death process. And really, it's about basic respect. So today, I'm going to be covering the Pisces new moon on February 27th, and then finishing up with a Venus retrograde, and I kind of combine those energies. They have a lot of similarities, even though Venus on March 1st will be 10 degrees of Aries. Her energies are still of the heart, and it offers us the opportunity to kind of piggyback on this Pisces new moon of February 27th. The piggyback is that the Venus Aries is conjunct the moon in Aries, exact. And so emotionally, it's a real opportunity for new beginnings. I have this event surrounding the U.S. Sibley birth chart. And the essence of this energy is it's like we've had a few months of like what's going on and, things are not working out as we had hoped on any level or many levels. So with the moon conjunct Venus is love, money, values. The moon is in the fourth house of home and family. All of these planets are below the horizon. This is really looking at what's going on for families and children, our homes, real estate, and those kinds of things. So there's a lot of energy here. It's about reevaluating our values as a people, and does our current government reflect those values? Chiron is also there in Aries. So I kind of shifted back to that, but I want to just let you know that new moons, the Pisces new moon, is about reevaluating, rethinking, and who are we now? And it's a time of opening our hearts and deciding what those new values, as Venus moves into Aries, or is already in Aries. So what are our new values at this time? There can be fluctuations in the stock market and concerns around finances and money generally for the people, which is not surprising. So this is a very powerful time of kind of going inward. So take care of yourselves, look inside, and then we'll see what else we can do with these particular energies. Reevaluate. What's important to you now? Who are you now? So let's talk about this new moon. We're getting ready to shift. Mars is going to go forward. We should all begin to have more ideas and information about what we can do. The sun and the moon are at 9 degrees of Pisces. So this will be wonderful for you, Cancers and Scorpios, because it'll be trine energy. And we've got a beautiful trine from the sun, moon to Mars, really kind of, and actually it's more, the trine is to Vesta, and Vesta is in Scorpio. Vesta is about how do we get things back in order with creativity, with looking at the losses. What we may discover, or what those in government may discover is, there's been a lot of damage done, but it actually will make it so that we can upgrade and make our government into something even better than it was before, to really and truly get rid of a lot of the problems once we're able to get back into power and to do those kinds of things. Mars is trining Saturn. So instead of being, at odds, Saturn in Pisces said, no, we have to fix things, and we have to fix things for families and children. Mars is an almost exact trine to Vesta. So what are those processes that we need to transform and or to put back in place? What's salvageable, and where do we need to just start over? Just know that there are those new moons are about new beginnings. And we can, again, Pisces energy can be total defeat, depression, just disillusionment, discouragement. It's my Auntie Jan used to say, I'm just going to go home and pull the blanket up over my head. And I don't want to talk to anyone or see anyone. Oh my God, she was such a powerful woman, but she kind of would have her limits too. So anyway, these energies are truly about what is sacred, maybe we're going to have to go back to just bare bones services. I have no doubt that many of the civil servants, and as well as the heads of a lot of these agencies, had meetings with the Biden administration prior to turning things over. So a lot of things were put into place ahead of time. If there is the opportunity for them to come back in and try to stabilize and fix things, they will. So we'll see. We'll see. There's a bunch of things that are going to happen over the next few months before that can happen. As I'm looking at this chart, there is some of the same old things, but Pluto and Mars are not opposing each other at this time. So that helps a lot. It doesn't have to be volatile or dangerous or violent. And even though many of us are grieving for the whole FAA being upper echelons being wiped out, and then suddenly we have 3 or 4 plane crashes, lots of lives lost that didn't need to happen in the moving into trying to make the government more efficient. Well, it's about getting rid of those that are in unions and higher paid people in all of these organizations so they can put unskilled, incompetent people in the place. So yeah, we don't want incompetent people in charge of the FAA and cutting the budget to the point that they don't have enough people in the towers to direct air traffic. That's very dangerous. So I do think there's going to be some opportunities to stabilize some of these programs, probably coming through lawsuits that so many AFLs, and so many of the nonprofit organizations, civil rights organizations, etc. There's just a whole group of people that are fighting for us in the court systems, and attorneys all over the country, attorney generals, and all of the states that are Democratic attorney generals or independents. And, I do think there are some independents there as well. The thing I see in this particular Pisces new moon chart too is Jupiter opposes Estrella. So there is no rest for these weary attorneys. In fact, this will be, from me, another plea to those of you who are retired attorneys or retired judges to do what you can, if you care about the democracy, to do what you can to support the legal things that need to happen in the country at this time. The fire hose is going on a daily basis, and I don't see that stopping until they are stopped. We're in a process of healing. The chart that I have for this Pisces new moon, I also have it around the U.S. Sibley chart. One of the first things that jumped out at me is there is a huge contingency or group of attorneys that are volunteering. Many of them are volunteering, being funded by nonprofits or private organizations to challenge a lot of the stuff that's going on in the courts. And so far, the lower courts are holding. We'll have to see what happens when some of the stuff makes it to the higher courts. So far, they haven't exactly held, but that may change if they realize that their power will be gone and they will be gone, because anytime they rule against Trump, he's a very vindictive person. His visions of grandeur, in that he is king, which they essentially made him not responsible for anything he does. He can get a free, if he, all he has to do is say it was in the line of duty, and he can murder people, which he is doing in indirect ways. And for YouTube, this is entertainment only. These are my opinions. This is my assessment of the astrology and what I'm seeing here, and it's my opinion. So I'm not a Republican. I am a progressive. I am a humanitarian. I am an environmentalist. I support the earth. I support women. I'm not a women's liber. I really resent that kind of, label. But I'm a compassionate human being, and I've been an advocate for women and children my whole adult life. Mars is a wide conjunction to the U.S. Sun, and so that conjunction is going to say, it's the U.S. government, those that are in power have got to consider their actions relating to how it's impacting families and children and the population in general. Families, women, and children. Uranus at 23 Taurus, who's now direct as well, is trining the South Node in Virgo. The two of them will be working together to quickly try to deal with the needs of the people, dealing with the financial system and the technology that has been broken into and copied. And, it's like putting a stay on it and ordering them to destroy it. They're probably not going to destroy it. And what I understand is it's already been dispersed to our enemies anyway, because that's how they roll. And it doesn't take anything to capture technology and send it wherever they want it to go. It's shocking how fast things are moving. It feels like we've already been a year into this administration, and it's only been a few weeks. What I do see in the U.S. Sibley chart is most of the planetary energies are down on the second house, third house, and fourth house. And in the U.S. chart, the lower half relates to the people. The people's money in the second house, the people's values, communications about the needs, providing for the needs of the people. In the third house, there's just a plethora of Pisces energy. The Sun, Moon, Saturn, Mercury, Ceres, which is nurture and sustenance, which would be food, housing, providing for the needs of the people. And we are in our Chiron return, the U.S. Chiron return. It's not exact, it's within a few minutes, but close enough. We give 1 degree, not just minutes. Eris is also there. She is the sister of Mars. All of these energies, Venus in Aries, Chiron in Aries, and Eris in Aries, are conjuncting. Yeah, I would give Venus even to Chiron. It's 10 degrees, but because they're in there as a grouping, money issues are going to be critical and necessary for providing for homes, for property. There could be really great challenges around these funds. I mean, even Social Security. If Social Security is going away, most of the retirees have built, they have property, they have built their lives around this as an additional income. If you were fortunate enough to have a retirement income. There's been an 80-year assault on pension funds and got shipped into or changed into 401ks, which some people have. Most jobs in the 60s had pension benefits, and unions were able to provide for groups of people. So a lot of what's going on with these guys is union busting. Getting rid of the Department of Education. The teachers union is one of the largest. The FAA was broken by, oh gosh, all of a sudden I just went blank. Ronald Reagan, they went on strike, and so he fired them all back in the 80s and put other people in place. There's been this huge thing by the rich, by the corporations, to get rid of unions because they give living wages. They work for living wages and safety, getting rid of OSHA, getting rid of all of these different agencies that protect the EPA, protect our water, our food. They do food inspections to make sure we're not all going to get salmonella by buying the lettuce in the grocery store. So the dissolution of all the agencies is not going to save money. That's one of the lies that they perpetuate, that business is more efficient and government is a waste of money. And government is more efficient. I mean, so many of the government programs, they had an 8% overhead. What corporation do you know that has an 8% overhead? It's crazy. No, because government is there to serve the people. And if you have a government job and you're a good worker, you're a loyal worker, you can have a living wage, you can have benefits. So this is all the stuff they want to get rid of. They want all of the lands, the minerals, they want to rape and pillage the government and our country. And this has been Putin's wet dream for many, 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 many decades. It's so sad, but we have to kind of shake all of that off and look at, who are we now? Who am I now? I'm not the same person I was 4 months ago. Who are you now? Who are you now? And if you haven't slowed down enough to take time to look inside, this is probably really important, because things are changing hour by hour. There really is no solid ground under our feet. The Pisces new moon brings us many gifts. And it's also carrying a lot of the same challenges. The same craziness is going on. Hasn't hardly slowed down yet. And they aren't going to give up. They aren't going to give up. This has been in the works since FDR taxed the robber barons, the billionaires or millionaires back in that time, taxed them at 90%. So it really encouraged them to pay their workers a lot more and to give benefits and to, but tax them at 90% because they did the same thing and crashed the economy back in the 30s. And we had the Dust Bowl. One of the things that I think is so sad is we're not teaching civics, we're not teaching government, we're not teaching history that much. And our books are being so censored that we're not supposed to be told the truth about who our country has been, who our government has been in the past decade for sure, or not just decade, 100 years for sure. So as we have reviewed the Pisces new moon on February 27th, this coming week, and kind of blended those energies with the Venus going retrograde, and she's retrograde until April 12th. So this is a kind of an extended period of time of rethinking, reconsidering, redoing, reassessing, all of the retrograde kinds of things, but definitely for the people. So I would absolutely expect that we will have a change of heart, the awakening of a lot of people from the slumber. And, this will be coming after the Pisces new moon. And new moons are new beginnings. So even though it's in the sign of Pisces, this is where we can be going inside, reevaluating, reassessing too what we want to be doing and what is our part. And I talk about that a lot. Who are we now? And where is it we're motivated to step up? Because it's going to take the village. It's going to take all of us coming together and helping each other, coming together and pushing back against oligarchs and against, abuses of power, money, sexuality in our government. And I do think with the Pisces new moon, the information that's going to be coming out in the next few weeks is going to be quite shocking, and it will change all of us. So remember to breathe and do something really sweet, nurturing, With Pisces, that's one of the water signs. Scorpio and Cancer are the other two water signs. And so this can be a time of really pulling back into self-nurturance and doing things a little differently from an emotional perspective. So don't let these guys get you down. What's going on in our world and in our country, don't let it get you down. And know that you are loved. Know that you are love. And that there are many who see you for who you are and the gifts that you bring. So we just need to find our soul family, whether that's family of origin or not. We need to find our teams. We need to find our soul family and be gentle with ourselves over the next few weeks. We are entering the sun in Pisces, or actually already have the 30 days or so that the sun is in Pisces through that around the 20th of March when he goes into Aries. It can be a time of just really needing to pull back and to step out of the whirlwind of what's going on in the world. So take care of yourself. Do what you need to do. Don't isolate if you're feeling depressed or you're feeling frightened. Reach out, and there will be those that that will be safe to reach out to. New opportunities, finding our joy, getting in touch with our joy. And, it's like remembering. Go back to whether it's childhood or times, no matter what age and stage we are, times in between when we were our happiest. Tap into that energy and then reconnect. Who are we now? What's important to us now? Be willing to let go of what no longer serves us. And as long as we are staying heart-centered, based in love and compassion, forgiveness, service, the highest vibration of Pisces, and Venus's values, new values, bringing in new values, March 1st, staying away from fear, taking care of yourself. And if you have to feel fear, feel it. Water signs too, the Pisces energies are really wonderful to, be in touch with nature, to go to the ocean, to go to a lake, to go in nature in general and just be quiet. And in being quiet, let Mother Earth talk to you. She has a lot to share with us. Okay, take care of yourself. Fill up your heart. Open your heart. Expand your heart. And we will talk to you soon. Take care. Much love and blessings to all of you.